we're going to be talking about what makes the human touch so powerful in home business. And this is something that I think a lot of people are overlooking, the power of your own humanity when you're marketing your business. A lot of people will tend to minimize, the power of their own humanity. And right now, we are hearing a lot about AI, bots, artificial intelligence, the power of artificial intelligence, and robotics. And a lot of people are getting into this whole transhumanist way of thinking, in which they're thinking the future is being built for robots and androids and what's the proper word? Not androids. Uh, cyborgs, half human, half machine hybrids, and that the future really doesn't include humanity. And that's kind of a sad state of affairs. I disagree with all of that. I agree that AI is powerful. It can make a powerful tool. It makes a powerful ally, a powerful assistant, a powerful partner to partner up with. But do not discount the power of your own humanity when you are promoting and marketing your own business. There are a lot of people out there, okay, that think that before you can succeed in any kind of marketing, any kind of business marketing, you got to be cute, you know? You got to be drop dead gorgeous. A lot of females out there with, operating with that flex. Or guys, you got to be drop dead gorgeous. You got to be strong, powerful. My God, you know what I can do? Look at this, people. Look what I can do. I can bend that bar because I'm strong, baby. Yeah! And they think that you've got to really be perfect before you can be in business. And that's not true. That's not true. One of the entrepreneurs that I like to follow, a beautiful woman. She used to be cuter about 15 years ago. We all kind of age. But Tanya Eliza, and she shared how she got started in her own network marketing business. And she was kind of going with the, hey, join me, I'm a cute young woman type of marketing effort. I see a lot of this going on right now with Facebook entrepreneurs and X entrepreneurs. They think a pretty face is going to help to sell the brand and all that. And there is some truth to that. Yes, that will help sell a brand, but it's not the most important thing. But she started marketing her own network marketing business that she had, bought into. And she thought, all I have to do is just go out and talk to some of my friends, and they're going to join, and we're all going to make money. And what happened is she talked to a lot of her friends, especially her male friends, and yeah, they joined because, hey, this cute blonde is asking me to join her business. I'm not going to say no. But yeah, she got a lot of guys to join because of the sex appeal factor. But what she discovered is after a few months, none of those guys were doing anything with the business. They weren't out there promoting it. They weren't out there trying to grow it. They weren't out there expanding it. They joined because a pretty face asked them to join, but she had no idea how to encourage them to take the next step and actually start building the business and promoting the business. So that way they could be making money, she could be making money from their efforts, and so on and so forth. And she shares when she tells her story of how she got started. She had to spend, I think she said, 10 years studying how to do online business, how to do network marketing, the tricks of the trade when it comes to affiliate marketing. And one of those tricks is the power of being yourself, obviously. But it took her 10 years to kind of study, to kind of learn what she was doing wrong, and then start doing it right. And now she is a powerhouse in the field of network marketing. She has her own courses, she teaches her own stuff, and I've learned just by watching her free videos on YouTube. But yeah, she is a real powerhouse. But she got started out, imperfect knowledge, very nice, attractive look, and that wasn't enough. Because you know what? In order to grow a business, being attractive can help, but it's not the only thing. Being knowledgeable about the business, how to promote it, how to build steps, create steps that other people can replicate. One entrepreneur that I love listening to that is a master of online marketing, Max Steingart. He says this too in his trainings. You know, he'll see a lot of people out there that are getting a lot of people to join their business because they're drop dead gorgeous. Okay. And yeah, that is an advantage. You can use that to help grow your business if you know how to motivate people to take the next step and actually start working the business. But, you know, one problem with the drop dead gorgeous way of building a business is it's hard for others to replicate. What if you're an old guy with bad teeth? What if you're a very, very old guy with no hair and bad teeth? What if you're an older woman with stretch marks and maybe no hair and bad teeth? How can you market your business using the drop dead gorgeous approach? And so the point that I'm trying to make here, yeah, let's get to the point. The point that I'm trying to make here is that you don't have to be perfect in how you look or what you know, but you have to be willing to be honest about who you are. I have been taking some time to look at TikTok personalities. And TikTok, an interesting mix there about, you know, you got some younger people who are out there, you know, dancing and showing off their bodies and just promoting themselves that way. And then you got some older people who are just promoting themselves and getting followers by just being themselves. You know, you got folks like, you know, the Drop Dead Gorgeous girls, and then there's another guy called Weird Old Man, or maybe he calls himself the Weird Old Guy. And what's his flex? He's not pretty. He's not handsome. He can't take a spring like this and just bend it and say, I'm strong! I'm strong! You know, no. He's a toothless old guy with no hair, a wild, crazy hair sometimes, and he's just on there being himself. He bills himself as the crazy old man or the crazy old guy. He's being himself. He's letting that be his flex, and he's getting followers on TikTok just by being himself. That is the power of the real, authentic human touch in online marketing. And so, if you are comfortable putting yourself out there as you are on social media, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Clapper, on Donner, on Dancer, on Blixen, you know, all that stuff, and you are not shy about being yourself, hopefully your better self, there's an old saying that applies here. Your vibe is going to attract your tribe. People are not necessarily looking for the prettiest face, but they are looking for the most honest face, especially when it comes to business opportunities. Sadly, there's a lot of scams that have gone on in the online business world, and a lot of people have been bitten a few times, let's say, by dishonest salesmen and dishonest saleswomen. And yeah, they're not falling for an attractive person or a famous person trying to sell them on a business opportunity. They want to know that the person that they're talking to is honest, is likable, is relatable, and that's what they need to know before they join that person. Because it's still true. This has been true for a number of years, and it's still true today. People do not join companies in business opportunities. People do not join companies. People will join other people. People that they like, people that they can come to get to know and trust, and people that they can relate to. And this is a power in picking out your own personal business niche. What's a group of people that you can relate to and a group that can relate back to you? And if you got some experience in, say, law enforcement, military, pastoral work, church work, something like that, light industrial, retail, whatever your particular field of experience is, find other people that you can relate to and start talking to them about your business, because you know that lifestyle. You know that way of life. You know the way they think. You know their pain points. And you know that, like if you've been a country pastor for like 10 years or so, you know that the income of a small country pastor is not that great. And they are probably going to be looking for different ways to raise money ethically. And so you can use that as a flex in dealing with people in that demographic, in that niche group. But you can't get to know people in your niche group without being human with them. And they definitely cannot get to know you without you showing them who you are. And I mean the real you, with all the warts and all, bad teeth, bad hair, everything. And so be relatable, be human, be honest, be ethical, and let those things be your superpower in your home-based business. Because, yeah, it's nice to have a pretty face out there promoting a brand. Just look at what Sydney Sweeney did for, what's the name of that company? I can't remember the name of the company, but I remember Sydney Sweeney. That's how powerful those ads can be. American Eagle Outfitters, something like that. But I mean, that's a brand of jeans I never knew existed 1 year ago. And now, I can't remember the name of the company, but I remember the name Sydney Sweeney and the fact that this company now makes jeans. My wife would kind of like a pair of those too, by the way. But yeah, there is power in having a pretty face promoting your brand, but you got to back that up with something more. And that is integrity, honesty, and just being yourself. There's beauty in a great many things in life. The most common way that we see beauty is in a pretty face, handsome body, But there are other factors that figure into true beauty, inner beauty, like having a good personality. Your body one of these days is going to fail you. Your personality is something you take with you to your grave, unless you succumb to something like Alzheimer's disease or dementia, in which case that robs you of your personality to a great degree. But I mean, your body will fade, your body will age, but your personality is something that you can continue to work with long after your physical beauty is gone. And this is where you can find a real superpower in business promotion, in promoting your online business. Napoleon Hill, in one or two of his books, I know it's in Think and Grow Rich, but he mentions this as a superpower, and that book is almost 100 years old now. But the power of the positive personality, a positive personality type. Are you the kind of person that people can relate to? Do you have the kind of personality that people like? Or do you have the kind of personality that says, in your dreams, buddy, leave me alone. I don't want to be disturbed. Get out of here. If that's the way you're coming at people on social media, then yeah, they're probably not going to want to do business with you. But if you are relatable, if you are honest, if people feel like they can get to know you pretty well, because you are who you are, and you let people know who you are. You let them know on no uncertain terms. You're not play acting. This face is not AI. This face was AI, I'd pick something like Sydney Sweeney, maybe. But no, this is me. You let people know that this is you, the real you, and hopefully the better you too. And you will eventually develop a group of people, a following, that will actually want to do business with you. And this is also true. If you really are good at just being yourself on social media and in your YouTube videos and in your marketing, not only will you be able to talk to people, maybe DM them, call them up on the phone, and successfully ask, hey, would you like to do business with me? I'm expanding my business in this area or online and just interested to knowing, are you interested in growing with me? If so, let me know. If not, no big deal. But that's one good approach. But if you do your marketing right and you focus on the power of attraction, attracting people through your common humanity, that common human bond, the human touch, you will eventually get to the point where people are contacting you on social media, maybe through the email, saying, hey, I saw your video. I'm wanting to know, would you be interested in doing business with me? Or can I get involved in your business opportunity? And I've done that myself with a handful of people, a handful of marketers that I have seen on social media and the internet and reached out to them. They didn't reach out to me. I reached out to them because they were doing such a good job of portraying who they were in their marketing. And I thought, okay, this guy, this gal seems to be an honest type, and they're in a business that I can relate to. They are people I can relate to, so I want to see about doing business with them, seeing if I can be their partner or if they want to be my partner. And that's the power of the human touch. And a lot of people, they say I'm shy. I'm an introvert. You hear that a lot. I can't show my face on social media because I am such an introvert. And you know what? Every successful entrepreneur that I know of has said at one point or another that they consider themselves to be introverts, sometimes painfully shy introverts. Very rare have I actually found an entrepreneur that was a natural born extrovert. I'm sure they're out there, but the vast majority of them that I've seen have been natural introverts. They learned over time how to be less introverted and more extroverted. And they learned over time the power of allowing their personality to be reflected in their videos, in their social media posts, in their marketing, in their personal communications with other people. And that is something that is getting overlooked in our new modern AI world. See, a lot of people now, they see the power in having AI chatbots, you know, talking people up, chatting them up on social media, sending out, creating emails and just sending them out without even double checking to make sure those emails are something they would want to have sent out in their name. And yeah, people are relying upon artificial intelligence, I think, too greatly, thinking that it's superior because it can reach out instantly to people. But can people, human beings, relate to AI as another human being? I don't think they can. I know I can't. I don't foresee a future in which AI will become so advanced that it will be indistinguishable from a human being. I think we will still have a desire to have the human touch involved in any kind of business relationship. I mean, think about it, for millennia now, not just for decades, not just for centuries, but for millennia, business has been done person to person, human being talking to another human being, saying, I got a bunch of corn over here, you got a bunch of goats over there, would you like to make a trade? Long before they had social media, they had people talking to people. And there's still a huge power in people's talking to people. Yes, there's a lot of power in having highly organized email marketing campaigns that can send out an email blast to hundreds or thousands of people in your email marketing list and things like that. And there is power in an AI that can reach out to people immediately and say, "Hey, I saw you were interested in this business. Would you like to take a closer look at it?" But there is also a lot of power in just people talking to people. Use AI and automation as a tool for doing your mass marketing. I think that's wise. I think that's smart. But people will stay in a business longer if you reach out and talk to them one on one. It's not all about the mass marketing. It's also about building relationships with other human beings. And this, I think, is the real superpower in any kind of business. Jim Rohn once said, "You want to be successful in sales? It's easy. Just get out there and talk to lots of people." That's how he did it. That was pre internet days. And then he said, "You know what's really exciting? There are lots and lots of people out there to talk to." And in the internet age, we can take that same timeless wisdom, combine that with the power of the internet, and know that, you can reach half the planet now through online marketing, through social media. Half the planet is now on some form of social media or another. So, I mean, if ever there was a time when you could successfully reach out to lots and lots of people, that time is now. Don't have to go down to the shopping mall. You don't have to go down to the gas station or the corner grocery in order to talk to people. You don't have to call them on the phone, although that's a good move too. You can talk to them online, in mass, like I'm doing now in this live video that I'm doing, and also personally, one on one, through DMs, through chats, through phone calls. And just remember, don't be a pest. Don't be silly in your marketing efforts. Don't try to pressure people to buy your thing, but be real, be honest, be relatable, and be your better self. And just be out there wanting to offer true, real value to people who need that. And then if they seem to be interested, ask if they'd like to take a look at the product that you have to offer. And if they say no, don't try beating a dead horse. Let them go, but keep in touch with them. See if they might change their mind sometime into the future, but don't try to pressure them into buying. That's never a good move in my books. But yeah, definitely use the power of the human touch. Use your flaws, use your strengths, use everything. Let people know who you really are. What are your hopes? What are your dreams? What do you hope to accomplish? What's your big why in your business building life? Why do you want to build a business? Is it just about the money, or is it about something else? Do you want to retire your spouse? Are you taking care of your sick parents? Are you taking care of sick children? Do you want to make a difference in your local community? What is your why in starting a home based business? And then don't be shy about sharing that why with other people. Because believe it or not, there are lots of other people that can relate to who you are and what you're going through. Not fake empathy like we see with some of the AI models and chatbots out there, but real human on human empathy. People listening to your story and they're thinking in the back of their mind, "I went through a similar thing like that 10 years ago. I know that pain. I know how I worked through it." Or maybe you're still working through it and you see that person talking about it honestly, you start developing a bond, one to another. And that bond can lead to friendship can also lead to a business relationship. So do not discount the power of the human touch in home-based business, in any kind of business. Companies that have sold out their humanity, shall we say, to AI by firing their staff, replacing them with AI bots because they thought the AI was going to be faster, cheaper, superior to real live human beings. A lot of them now are feeling the pain because they realize they made a mistake. Because nobody can really relate to another human being quite like another human being. So don't be afraid of being human and being the best human you can. Okay, hope you found some real value in this. This is Ralph signing out. Be back later with a live stream later on this afternoon. Might be talking about AI, might be talking about something else, but yeah, be back online around the noon hour Central Time. Till then, have a great day, have a great morning. Chat to you later. Bye bye.